Thank you.
HR Analytics and People Data by Mr. Oman Abraham, Director and CEO of Global Best HR and Management Consulting Private Limited. Yes. Basically, the company Global Best HR and Management Consulting Private Limited has been founded in 2015. Under his leadership, the company has become a trusted name in the HR industry, recognized as one of the top 25 most admired companies in HR by the CEO magazine in 2019. With decades of experience, Mr. Abraham has significant impact in the field of human resource. He was honored as the most powerful HR professional in India by the World HRD Congress. He started his career in Kevin Care as a management trainee to VP HR for 18 years. During that time, the company has a significant growth from 12 crore to 1,200 crores. Post that, he was leading HR initiatives for 15,000 employees as President Group of HR and Corporate Communication at GEMS Everon Education Private Limited. Mr. Abraham is a certified leadership coach and an expert in areas like group facilitation, competency modeling, and behavioral assessments. He is the architect of GB Homer's entry to exit HR management solution, a comprehensive HR software that helps organizations streamline their HR process. As a thought leader, he has introduced innovative systems like high performance work system and regularly shares his knowledge at industry events, inspiring others to achieve excellence in HR. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the visionary leader, Mr. Oman Abraham. So, over to you, Mr. Abraham.
Thank you, Priyadarshini, for that lovely introduction. Thanks to Mr. Santosh Ganesh and the organizing team for inviting me to be part of this Global Symposium 2025. Hi to all the speakers there. And I think the topics lined up for today are all correlated and all excellent topics. And Jayeshi started with emotions, and we are going to talk about mission, technology, and all that. And the one beautiful things I like from her thing is how that employee engagement. Earlier, HR used to talk about employee engagement score, and now you are connected it with the profitability loss, even GDP loss, and so on. And that is how that HR is expected to link with all data, analyze, understand insights, and connect it with the business. And that's what my topic is all about: HR analytics and the people data. So we'll be dwelling into that. And again, your last slide was very good. All these years we were talking about technology, and future we are going to talk about people. I thought it's going to be the other way, but it was a wonderful slide to close it. And that will also, we will discuss if time permits a little later. And thanks to all the participants who are there. On a weekend, you are all there. Thanks to all of you. Now, my topic for today is HR analytics and people data. It has got two components. One is people data. So I will start talking about people data. People data, when you talk about it is about you, right? Right from your childhood, you have a lot of history about you, right from your hospital, a lot of data about you, and the school, a lot of data about you, every class you passed and the marks and so on, college, then as a person in the social, you may be part of various organizations, community, and so on. Your health-related data, your voting, identity-related data. There are a lot of data is there. So to put the context in place for this discussion, we are going to talk about data related to, people as an employee and data, managed in an organization setup. So employee and employment-related data. That's what we are going to do. Even there, if you look at I'm sure that any organization, when a candidate joins or an employee joins, there are a lot of data is captured. Okay, like your personal detail, again, right from your date of birth onwards, all data is there, and a lot of statutory also related to that. Again, your personal, professional, company also gives a lot of assignment, like, you belong to this employee category, this grade, this level, and this department, this function, this branch, and so And then they also assign to your specific skill, job descriptions, roles, and so on. And if you look at the other details like your qualification, skills, your certification, your assets and facilities given to you is also very important for company to maintain it. And whatever promise they are given, that need to be maintained and so on. So these are various data. In fact, if you go to any organization, they need. And this is not new. It is not new. So today we are hearing more about people data and so on, and it is not new. Right from the time organizations are there, they were maintaining some of these data, and now it has become too crucial. So I will talk about it a little later about that. So data is there. What do we do with all this data? So I will just start. I have 3 slides. Just I will put that 3 slides. I was talking about data from different angle company need to maintain. If it is multinational or people traveling across, we'll be having about passport, visa, and so on. Now, companies are finding it difficult. There are many companies moved to HR automation, HRMS software, and so on. There are still many companies maintaining Excel and so on. But data is there in some form or some fashion. It is there. Okay. But we are talking about an effective organization. How can we manage all this data more efficiently for the betterment of the organization as well as for the employee? So we are talking about an HRMS software. But once a data is there, how do we capture all this data and maintain it in the software? That's where we are looking at some sort of software. And we are ours is HRMS, GP, Hermes entry to exit is our HR management software. And so all these, if you look at from employee, we need to capture. Earlier, these data were there in different pockets, different files, or different softwares were used by companies, like learning and development separate, attendance is separate, payroll is separate, and so on. Today, you need all this data in one place to make some meaningful insights. So if you look at employee, recruitment related data, right from candidate, how much time it is taking for recruitment, what is the cost of recruitment, who are the people involved in recruitment, what type of, what is the recruitment effectiveness? If you want to look at new recruits versus their performance, their performance versus their already existing employees. If you look at the company's average score and the new recruits performance score, you will know whether the new recruits are better than the existing or worse than them. So then that will also talk about who was involved, who were all involved in the recruitment process, what was the tool used, what was the assessment system to assess these people and so on. So we can, in recruitment, it is there like applicant tracking, right from candidature, what is his experience, and what is the image we created amongst those candidates, what is the positioning. Many candidates, even though they fit to the company, after long 3 or 4 assessment, candidates decide this is not the company I look for because of the experience they had during the process. So you can capture a lot of detail, and this will also give you certain insight. And attendance management, those were in olden days, the time office function was there. Today it's all automated. Now today you have biometric and mobile apps directly integrated to your system, so you know where your employees are today. In fact, we are talking to one retail store today, and they were talking about when my employee leaves they all go out for smoke or something. As soon as they leave the store, they want to know who all left, and when they walk in, they should know because most of the time they will not keep the biometric, but still you need to track them. So that's where I'm not talking about policing, but they need to know who are the critical people. Because how important it is, I will touch upon it. And so payroll related, all these data, like I'm not saying this is new, like payroll cost, salary, what is the total salary, what is the salary, average salary per, if it is a sales unit for production, you can track everything now. And tax, you can, again, your statutory things are there. And performance management, Jayeshi also talked about it in employee engagement, how it is linked to that. your engagement score, if it is dipping, whether it linked to your performance score also dips, or whether your engagement score is increasing, performance score increases or not. And more than all that, whether your performance score, performance score and engagement score are high, whether absenteeism, whether people are coming regularly on time or not, all that. You can also see some correlation between all that. And your engagement score is less, definitely grievance, complaints, all that will go up. And so when you want to put your training in place, when you want to conduct training and what is the training cost and all, training cost, training mandates, all that were captured earlier also. Okay, but going forward, what we need to look at is how do you link it to your ROI, business impact. We will talk about, when I talk about analytics. Now we will look at the data point. What are the data we need to look at from employee per se and employment related? So the expense and all other things. Today you get all this in a dashboard, like how many are there inside the company or factory. In fact, we were talking to a highly hazardous factory. They were talking about, we want to know people at different places inside the factory, not only that whether they are in or out, because when some fire or something happens, we want to know whether those people are moved out or not. So they want to track to that extent. So when technology, when you bring in, it also helps in many ways to track to that extent, so that all that losses you are reducing. Okay, so with this, so you are collecting all this data, and so these are certain things are called master data, because which are required, and your transactional data is your real-time data, and that's where you need softwares to collect all this data for decisions, like people attendance, engagement score, performance score. All these are your transactions based on something you are collecting data, and if you don't have good software to collect, then you miss all these data. And so how do we use it for analytics? This is one screen like for performance score, directly from performance and your competency. You can box it into the nine box, potential versus performance, or four quadrant, the bell curve, whatever you want to fix it, you can get into that, and you can also get into a lot of analytics based on that. It gives the current cost and your projected CTC and so on. And go back there. So you can do a lot of analysis. So with these data, the purpose of analytics, now I'm touched about the data, now we come to the analytics part. Analytics is how do we convert these data into a meaningful insight so that I can use this insight to help my organization improve its performance. Or I can improve this data to improve the quality of my employees' work life, and so on. So for that, already that in a couple of I think decades ago itself, a lot of HR guys started talking about this comparing data and all. In fact, Jashi was talking about the different 4 types of analytics, descriptive, diagnostic, predict, and she was already talking about predictive and so on. So if you look at all the other functions, major functions in an organization like finance, they will have software. SAP, Oracle, Tally, or some software they will be having. And no debate on that, because they know that how important it is and how it is related to your business performance. And the criticality of data for statutory purpose and for your own business and for all your stakeholders. So it comes from an authentic software, you believe that. Okay? And if you look at sales, similarly, marketing, they all talk about numbers, market growth, and so on. And production, right from the beginning, they all talk about what is the production output, productivity per person, the factory output, and so on. They all talk about all these numbers. HR also used to talk about these numbers in the past, but they are more talk about absenteeism numbers, attrition, recruitment cost. And if you look at all that, is like as a pain point, we will highlight to the manager. Recruitment cost per hire is very high. Absenteeism is very high. Attrition is very high. What we need to look at is how it impacts the business. absenteeism is there, so what? If attrition is there, at what level attrition is there? What type of people are leaving? And which department is happening? Or under which leadership the attritions are more? And then can you correlate with anything else? How was the last appraisal score? How was the increments? Was there any indication before attrition, absenteeism, people are going for attending interview, or people were not participating in any new projects? They were not volunteering anything. Like, when company conducts a lot of programs, and that is the day employees take leaves. It means that shows the disengagement completely. Okay, so these are all indications, indicators. But if you don't, if you are not prepared to collect all these details, we will lose all these details, and we will only be complaining at the end. Attrition is high, absenteeism is high, and so on. And every year, the newcomers are demanding higher salary. So HR put forward that new employees require higher percentage. So your salary costs keep growing. Instead of looking at a lot of other data and see it. So now the analytics helps you that way. Correlate data and see where we can look at whether any insight is there, whether we can do something. In fact, when we implemented SAP, this is our GB Hermes, one of the large retail company. We found that more than 60 days, mandates, attendance, salary, 60 mandates, salaries going without person being there. And they talk about cost and so on. But if you address this, it means 2 persons were paid salary without anything, without being there. So you can get into that granular thing, provided if HR or the decision makers are interested to get into that detail. And that's why. But when some of the challenges also is like that when we go and talk about HRMS software. So currently one person is managing, he is paid only less salary. The payroll is, once the payroll is done, the leave and attendance time of his function is done, they feel that is what HR is following. But HR need to get into that. How if people is not there, business is not there. So it means a lot of things are there. And in fact, she also linked that employee engagement and loss and so on, GDP growth and so on. So you can directly link to productivity and say, when we conduct training program as a consulting company, we do a lot of change management initiatives. And as part of that change management, we also do conduct training programs. We measure it. Say, for example, if sales conversion is not happening with some set of people, then we conduct a program on, say, 7 steps in sales conversion. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Then we also look at, monitor at the workplace and see whether this guy is following all that 7 steps, whether there is an improvement in sales or not. And despite all that he is doing, still sales is not happening. Is it beyond that? Whether it's a marketing problem, is it a sales issue? Is it that person issue? Or is that territory where the competition is active? And so on. So we need to look at more data and correlate with the people data also. Because if you put somebody else in that area, whether sales is increasing or is it that person's problem, or is it that market problem? You can do a lot of analytics like that. That's where we are looking at. First is capturing data, and the data need to be captured in an organized format. If you are not capturing it in an organized format, then you cannot use the data for anything. Like when we go for people maintain in Excel, a lot of things. And even if you give a software, they download it in Excel and they convert it into so many confusions. Like somebody will call assistant manager as assistant manager full name, somebody will AM, somebody ASST manager. So it will give you a completely different data point. So that's where these softwares will help you. And so organizing data is very important before any analytics. Now we'll spend some time on the analytics part. All analytics, basically you're converting the data to insights. So how much insights you want, and AI is coming in now. Now most of the analytics, whatever I talked about, AI will give you. Going forward, AI can give you all that. And AI will give you certain things. But there is also a disadvantage of AI. AI reads everything and it gives. So but still people are required to infer that information to make it a meaningful decision, people-related decisions. And going forward, people will look for more comfort. People will look for their lifestyles are changing. They want better lifestyle. And these analysis, these AI is going to help in a big manner, and that is going to impact everyone's life. I think with this, I close it here, and I will take question and answer if required, because all the otherwise I will be getting into AI, which is the next speaker's topic. And so because otherwise, since there are 4 speakers, I stop here with data and analytics, and I will take questions.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing the valuable insights on HR analytics and people data. Like now, I welcome the audience. If you have any questions for Mr. Abraham, please type them into the chat so that we can address as many as possible. Anybody would like to ask any questions? Is there any questions? Yes. Sir, I would like to have one question. This is regarding, you spoke about AI and other HR analytics part as well. But regarding that employee data, how organizations ensure the ethical and responsible use of employee data in HR analytics while maintaining employee privacy and trust?
Okay, just because we are digitalizing a company or employees will not become unethical. All these data right from beginning, the employees inside only were maintaining, the HR department were maintaining, or the employees were maintaining all this data. And so digitalization will not make you unethical. Okay, the question is, again, as Jayashree said, it is again it depends on company's culture and value system. If it is too strong, then employees will behave and employees will value everyone's data there, and they also respect others' data, and they use it only for the official purpose, what it meant for. So it talks about the larger organization culture and value system. But digitalization, like today, hacking is there. People can intrude into you. Okay, that is where the more security systems are required. So instead of saying that our people are not ethical, or people are, our company will not be ethical, you can say that these facilities are there. Like if somebody wants to do it, like people are taking your money from bank, correct? So they even call you and speak to you and take your money without your knowledge. Okay, so all that is happening. So this is one disadvantage of a technology. Okay, so more security systems, every organization is attempting to that. There are a lot of security measures are there, and but if somebody is working only towards that, you can't do anything. Like somebody is taking Aadhaar number, somebody is taking RBI's data from central government data, and so all that is also possible. But security systems are also increasing. Third one, talking about your trust quotient. Trust quotient, it comes from your company's culture and value system. If I share my data somewhere, I believe that organization maintains it. Correct? And today punishments are also accordingly more stringent. If somebody there are companies which are closed down for not maintaining security and trust. So that's a different one. We need not have the fear just because we are putting all data in the system. It is going to be the data privacy will be somebody will infringe into your privacy also. That fear, if we have, then we will never move forward. That's my because I'm also developing a software, and we put a lot of security. We Aadhaar card number, all that it is not revealed to anyone. It is others cannot see it. So you can do a lot of work like that.
Thank you so much, sir. And the next question is about what are the key metrics and KPIs that HR leaders should focus on to demonstrate the value and the impact of HR analytics to the business?
Correct. Today, see, earlier, like, no, I worked in companies for 22 years. As head HR, we were looking at attrition those days, no employee training and all that. We used to take on the soft issue. And we also used to talk about HR means emotions, we need to take care of people and all that will be. I think going forward, HR need to connect using all these tools. They need to connect how do we improve business, how do we improve profitability, so that the money will come back for the employees' well-being and the customers. And we are also looking at the larger setup. Like, those are the days where we not talked about CSR at all. Today we are talking about certain percentage of money to CSR. It means you are becoming more community oriented. You are not only restricting within your organization and so on. You are also looking at the other stakeholders. Correct? So, and that will keep increasing more. And so for that, you need to work on this. So their HR or any leader has to look at how do we use all this analysis to improve your business, improve your profitability, improve the work life. I would say lifestyle. I don't talk about work life balance. I talk about the work lifestyle in the organization. Work life balance is individual, so that's a big topic when we get into it. I'm sure Jayashree will have a lot of things to talk about it when we talk about the engagement score and so on. But we can definitely improve lifestyle, and we can also contribute a lot to. We look at all the large organizations, which have made huge profits. The contribution to society is good. Like Wipro contributing so much money. They are the highest donors again for female girl education and so on. So there are a lot of organizations investing a lot on AIDS control and so on. So there are companies contributing. So we can look at all that going forward. And that is where the KPIs and all will change. They have to link it where not only looking at within their function, they need to look at business overall and beyond business. How can I impact the community in some fashion?
Thank you so much.
And today you can, with good software, you can track all that action plans towards it and your achievement scores, how you are impacting business and all that with software you can track. Yeah.
So once again, thank you so much, sir, for your thoughtful answer to our questions, which has given us a fresh perspective on HR analytics and people data. And with this, we are moving forward